Sophie, we have made it to the Euro 2024 quarterfinals. Are you excited?
I'm very excited. It's been so good so far.
Yes, honestly, we are down to the final 8 teams. This is where things really get interesting. Big teams are playing big teams, so big teams are going out. Before we get into this video, we've got a slightly different background today. It's just for today, so just ignore that. It's still pretty cool, not gonna lie. Let's go for 1,900 likes. Make sure to click that like button. It takes 2 seconds, so please support us by hitting that button and make sure you are subscribed. Over 50% of the viewers haven't subscribed yet, so get involved, hit that subscribe button. We've got 2 predictions coming today, and we're gonna do the other 2 quarterfinals in tomorrow's video. Sophie, let's start with Spain versus Germany. Wow, yeah. What a matchup.
This is like a final game, isn't it? You think, oh, in the quarters and one of these teams has to go out.
Yeah.
It seems a little bit harsh really, doesn't it? But what an interesting game this will be.
Yes, this so easily could be the final. These 2 teams have been very impressive so far. It is Goliath versus Goliath, and Germany, I predicted them to win the Euros before the tournament started because they're the hosts, they've got a good team, and so far I think they've delivered. I thought I think they've played pretty well so far. They smashed Scotland, they then beat Hungary quite comfortably, they drew with Switzerland. It wasn't their best performance, but they got a nice comfortable win against Denmark, and this is the hardest game for them so far, Spain. And Spain have been really good, Sophie, probably a bit better than what I expected. I thought they'd be all right, but they were in a very difficult group, and they beat Croatia, they beat Italy, they beat Albania, and they've just got past Georgia. They did have a little scare.
Yes,
they went behind, but they came back to win 4-1. So really difficult game to call. 2 very good teams.
It is. You don't want to go against either team, but obviously we have got to pick a winner. Someone's got to go through. It's just, do you go for the host or do you go for a young squad that's quite exciting to watch? And even when they do go behind, they've still got that attitude of, do you know what, we're in this game, and they don't just get 2 goals and think, okay, that's it, we've done the job. They'll go and put another 2 past them and have a nice 4-1 win. You think, okay, that's a very, very good team to come up against. So here's a tricky one to call. It's
difficult, it's very difficult, and I think you could make a good argument that the winner of this game will go on to win the competition.
Yes, yeah.
I think this is 2 of the strongest teams so far, so I wouldn't be surprised if either of them lift the trophy. Germany certainly have the home advantage, and that could be crucial in a game like this, especially if they get the first goal or if they come back and get an equaliser. They can get their crowd to make all the noise to push them forwards to get the win. As for Spain, Sophie, they've won every game, so something has to give here. Do you think it's going to be high scoring, or do you think this will be quite cagey and low scoring?
I don't know, it's really difficult to call, because anytime I say a game's going to be low scoring, there's loads of goals. So it's really, really hard to call at this competition. I can actually see this one being done in 90 minutes.
Oh.
I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, it could go all the way to penalties, but I'm not going to call that.
I do think it could go to penalties.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to predict that. I do think there will be a winner. I'm not sure if it's going to be in 90 minutes or in 120 minutes, but I just think I'm going to go with Germany. I just think, Sophie, the home advantage could do this, but I think if Spain win this game,
it's them.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Oh, geez. What a difficult game to predict. Let's go Germany 2-1, but as I said, if Spain win this, they're my favourites to win the competition. What a good game.
Yeah, this is such a good game. And to kick off the quarterfinals with it as well, you just think, I mean, are you going to hit your peak really early? I don't know, maybe. But for me, I'm going the other way. I'm actually going to say Spain 2-1. I think it could be 90. I think it could be a late goal in there. But for me, I think Spain just have enough. I think the young players will bring that energy, and they've got that confidence, and almost like playing a bit fearless, to be honest, coming up against quite an experienced German side where you think, is it going to be the young guns against the experienced ones? Like, how's that going to work out? But I actually think it's going to favour Spain. So I'd say 2-1.
Yeah, I do really like this Spain team, but as I said, I just think players like Kroos,
Musiala's a very good
might
player.
just pop up with a moment of magic, or might just be able to control or manage this game and just get the win. But I do think it will be very close. It's interesting that we've both gone with both teams to score as well.
Yes, yeah.
And we've both gone opposite ways. Share your thoughts, guys. A really good matchup. Both sides haven't won any silverware in over 10 years now, of course. So will it be one of them this time round? The next game, Sophie, is Portugal versus France. Another really mouth-watering matchup, but different to the Spain-Germany game, because I think France have underperformed. They've been okay. They've not been bad, but they've not been great. They've, the standards they usually set, I thought they'd do better, but I'm not going to,
Same for Portugal in a way, though. I don't think Portugal have been playing the best that they can.
Yeah.
So it is two teams that are, in my opinion, underperforming. I'd say more so France. I did expect a little bit more from France. I thought they'd walk certain games, and they're not. They're making it quite hard for themselves. So, yeah, this is another tough one to call.
Yes, it is. It's a very difficult game to call. As I say, France usually set the expectations high, but they've just been okay. But I'm not going to insult them, because they're in a position that they could still win the competition here. The same has to be said for Portugal, but I don't think they were great against Slovenia. Credit to Slovenia, by the way, because they've drawn all 4 games before going home. And Ronaldo missing the penalty was just a moment of madness. I will give him credit for scoring his penalty in the shootout, but I've got to be honest, I just think I'd be so frustrated if I was a Portugal player, because, as I said to you off camera, the team wins free kicks in great positions and penalties, and he wastes a lot of them.
Yeah,
he does.
Especially the free kicks as well. I mean, there was one where it was by the corner flag, and you think, you're not going to score from there, just whip it in. It's a great position to whip a ball in, perfect cross, and he goes for goal. And it went wayward anyway, and you think that's another waste. So I think, it doesn't seem that the players are getting frustrated. I, as well as you, would be very, very frustrated having someone like that in the team. When he gets a chance, 9 times out of 10, he's scoring it. But I genuinely think sometimes this team would be better without him.
Yes. Well, he's played all 4 games, and he hasn't actually scored a goal for Portugal other than the penalty in the shootout, but that doesn't actually go down as a goal. It's going to be billed as Mbappe versus Ronaldo, isn't it?
Yeah.
One player obviously being Ronaldo, being one of the greatest of all time, but he's at the end of his career now. Mbappe is really coming into it. I don't think we've seen the best of him yet in this tournament, but maybe he will show up here. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think based on the games we saw between these two in the round of 16, I think 1 goal wins it. 1-0 France.
Yeah, I was so tempted to say 1-0 France in 120. I'm actually going to take it to penalties. I'm going to say 0-0 up to penalties, and then France do it. But I think it's going to be an interesting penalty shootout where Portugal will go ahead, and then France will somehow do it.
Wow. So do you know what? I thought you were going to go for Portugal just based on how good the keeper was, Diogo Costa, in that shootout.
Yeah, but some of the penalties weren't great. It was like good height for the keeper. I'm not taking anything away from the keeper because he guessed the right way.
Yeah.
And that was a stellar performance. But I think coming up against France, where they'll have more experience in those positions, it's down to the players scoring as well as the keeper. So for me, I am going to edge France.
There you go. France, of course, did lose the World Cup final on a penalty shootout against Argentina just under 2 years ago. Well, there you go, guys. That's our predictions. We are both just going for France, but we don't think it'll be convincing. We think it could be a close game. Share your thoughts, guys. That is 2 absolutely massive games in the Euro 2024 quarterfinals. Tomorrow, we will be back with Switzerland versus England and Netherlands versus Turkey. Make sure you've dropped a like, make sure you've subscribed, and make sure you've shared your predictions. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
We will see you in the next one. Peace out.